All right, guys, we're gonna continue with the part two of this back and forward. Let's jump in.
So if rich industrialists can pay people who are not American citizens less money to do jobs that then they make more money off their back and they don't have to actually employ the American public, they gravitate towards that. You actually have created a perverse perverse incentive for illegals to come here, be second-class citizens, and get paid less than the normal American.
Right.
Like that
Well,
seems totally like contrary to what you actually want.
Well, I'm not advocating for that. I think that just thinking about it logically, like that's how these people run their businesses. That's why they hire illegal immigrants so that they can pay them less.
Sure.
Which
People violate the law
I
all the
don't-
time in order to make more money.
Which I don't agree with, but I'm saying, like, would that not make things less efficient if you had less workers?
Yes, it would make things less efficient
Okay.
if you had less workers. But however, this could easily be applied to slavery. Ending slavery is bad because it would be less efficient because we would have less workers.
Right.
Right?
I do find a big distinction between slavery and illegal immigration, though, because those people
Yeah, but
are here by choice.
Sure,
getting
but the
paid.
consistency of the argument is the same. So that your value that you're arguing is about efficiency.
Right.
So it's like, okay, great. Yes, it is more efficient, but also here's another scenario which would also be more efficient.
Well, sure, but that's a comparison that just
So it seems like efficiency is not really what you're trying to argue then. You must be trying to argue something else. Because if you take efficiency and you say, well,
I think
this will hurt the efficiency of the business, it's like, so is taking black people out of cotton fields. That hurts the efficiency of the
Okay.
cotton field, right?
Well, in that scenario, in a slavery scenario, obviously I'm not advocating for that, but I think illegal immigrants they want to be here, they came here, they want to work, they want to make money, they're contributing to our system,
So did slaves.
but not by choice, and they're not getting paid.
That's
So
true,
there's
but
a
then
very big difference.
Then the value here must be something that's not efficiency. You must be arguing something that's not efficiency then. Because you keep on saying, well, it's less efficient. It's like, I can grant that, but
That's
then...
just an example of how I think that illegal immigration has done something good for our economy, whether I think it's morally just or not. I think that you can say that it's
I
made
agree.
things
Illegal
more,
immigration can be super helpful to the economy in some aspects, but it can also be very draining in other aspects.
Yeah.
For the instance, these people are
Resources.
not paying into tax
Yep.
the tax
Infrastructure,
system for
the resources, everything.
basic things like government subsidies for emergency care. Right, it happens in emergency rooms. California had some of the finest hospitals in the world, which were bankrupted by illegal immigrants, using them basically as the emergency room as a health facility. Right.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of net drains also that they get, including fraud for Social Security, fraud for stealing people's identities, all sorts of fraud that drains the system. Not to mention remittances, which aren't taxed. So the thing is like if you're making the moral argument. Based on efficiency, I think that's not what you mean. You
That
don't
was
mean
just-
efficiency. You're just pointing out an example of how they can be a boon.
Yeah, that was just.
But
an
I would just
example.
agree. I would just agree there can be cases where they definitely help the economy.
Okay.
They're just in net. Even if you made the case, and I agreed with it, that they mostly assist the economy. That's not the only dynamic of the problem we're looking at. Right?
Yeah, definitely not. That's just an example of
Yeah.
why I think illegal immigration has been good in some ways.
I cannot, guys, I'm sorry. I cannot think about one thing that illegal immigration has done good for the country. I'm sorry. I cannot. Even agriculture. Those farms should be only worked by Americans. Because it's a hard job. You take the illegal immigration out of the equation, you end up in a situation where you have to pay these people, even people that go to the farm, $35, $40, or even $50 an hour, guys. This is the reason why they want illegal immigration, and that way they can pay $7 and $10 an hour. No, those farms should pay Americans a real wage, because those are hard jobs. But no, they just want to. I live in Wisconsin. There's a lot of farmers here that use illegal immigration. I'm telling you. There was a company that worked here actually cutting the grass. And I noticed last year they have multiple illegal immigrants, right? And I was paying attention if they started cutting the grass this year, if they have illegals. Happens to be no illegals. They hire Americans. Not the brightest, but they at least have jobs. You see what I'm saying? This Americans at least have some kind of job. And sometimes you have to give the lowest kind of job to the lowest common denominator as an American. That way they have a way to just build up. We have to do our duties, man. And if we see something weird, somebody's I mean, I see zero excuses to make illegal immigration a positive attribute to a country.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
Like specifically where I live as well.
Where do you live?
I live in Tucson.
Oh, in Arizona?
Yeah, so it's right on the border. And obviously we have a lot of illegal immigrants.
And the people who live in the border towns hate them.
They sure do.
Yeah, they sure do. Why do you think that is?
'Cause they got there legally.
Well, because they destroy their property. They butcher their cattle. They do all sorts of horrible things to their private property. They do a lot of theft on the way over. They just loathe them. People in border towns are always demanding more and more security inside their towns. They can never get enough. Because, I mean, you can imagine how unsettling would it be if you go out for your nice, Starbucks frappe or whatever it is in the morning, right? And it has the double shot of espresso or whatever the shit it is that girls get now. And you sit out and you're in your like little stocking, whatever, your blanket and shit, and you're on your deck and you look out and there's families of illegal immigrants crossing your backyard destroying shit.
Okay, I'm sure that has happened to someone. I've lived there for a very long time. I've never seen that happen. I've never heard of that happen.
Bullshit. I call BS. It does happen, guys. It does happen, guys. Because these people, they don't understand, man. They don't understand, bro. They don't understand, man. Oh, man, this is the argument of just when it comes down to the voting thing, man. It's just, oh my God. I'm just trying to keep my... At this point, it's out of the equation for logic. There's no logic here, guys. No logic.
I live on the northern side, so Nogales, I think is it.
So not the border side.
Yeah, not the border side, but Nogales, the crime rate over there is a lot higher. But I think that it's very community based. They don't really leave that. The crime stays in that area. I think it's a lot of
which is also bad
crime.
It's also bad. So it's like all the arguments that you can make as a pro for illegal immigration. You just have to kind of bite the bullet that you want to concede our sovereignty, because that's what it does. It concedes our sovereignty. I cannot go to Mexico tomorrow, absent paperwork, and work there illegally, right? And do whatever I want.
I mean, you wouldn't want to, though.
But
you're bringing these people here. Oh man, this lady is just.
There are tons of Americans who want to, especially rich ones, because the power of the dollar versus the peso is so high. If you're a multimillionaire, you go down to Mexico, you can live the high life, right?
Yeah.
Mexican government, though, they want their money. They don't want you to come into their country without sufficiently greasing the palms of the Mexican government, which then is supposed to trickle down to its citizens, whether it does or it doesn't. You can't do that with them. Why is it that we should have the expectation they can do it to us?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think that I don't think that we should just open the borders and let everyone in, but
sometimes you have to give them what they want. I'm telling you. Sometimes you just send in a lot of. This is what DeSantis did. A lot of red state did. They just put them all in a bus and just send them right to a lot of these towns, man. That way they can understand what's going on. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next one.